No, you're good.
You can use this as an outtake later at the end.
Okay.
But no, I just try to be silly and say action, but I thought, oh, I'll do this, and then he'll see my arm go down, and he'll know when he needs to cut
Yeah.
it.
It's like Anchorman or something. We're
going to the KRED yard. We're gonna shred hard. And we're never coming home again. We're going to the KRED yard. We're gonna go hard. And we're never coming home again. Never coming home again.
Introduce yourself to
Sure.
the viewers.
Yeah, no worries. My name's Athena Athens, and I run Little Lost Girl Media. We've been around we started in like January of 2021, I believe. So.
Wow, I didn't even notice it was that not too long, like a year ago.
Yeah, wow. It was like a year and a half ago. We're coming up a year and a half.
Yeah.
And it's been absolutely the craziest thing ever. But I've loved music my whole life. As you can see, I have tattoos. Pretty much all of them are music related. It's been my passion ever since I can remember as a kid. So I've always been looking for more ways to support bands that I love. Be all their cheerleaders, get the music out there, and had a really silly idea to make an 8-track. When I realized Ramones 8-tracks are like $100.
Yeah.
And they're old and they're not going to work when you buy them. That's like 100, and some on Discogs are like $1,000. Yeah. So I'm like, well, what about those Ramones cover albums that were made by Selfless Records? Can we do those? It's the next best thing, right? Because, like, you have your friends over at your house and stuff. You want to put on cool music. And I don't know. I think it's pretty cool and impressive to have punk rock on a format that none of your other friends have that shit. Like, you know? So, yes, that's where my mind went. I wanted Road to Ruin by the Mr. T Experience on 8-track. That was my goal of starting the whole label. So here we are, and we've done, I don't even know how many releases we're on now. 11, 12, 14. There's so many, and 2 vinyl records out so far, 7-inch records. Well, 1 out and 1 coming out in a couple weeks. We just ended the pre-order for Mantis Watch.
Yes. I can't wait for that to see the...
I can't wait to see it either.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyone that didn't know, the last episode I had interviewed for Mantis Watch, and yeah, they had that 7-inch coming out, and it's totally mystery, the cover.
And I'm gonna do like a simple plug just to say, if you like the Riverdales, there's no way in hell you're not gonna love Mantis Watch.
Oh, for sure.
No way.
Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, every single thing that they've made so far, I was like waiting for the bad one, or the one I didn't like, and that just never happened. So I had to get them on my label, and of course, Paulina. I never show off the artwork for this, so like just because I have it right here, Paulina's doing the artwork for the Mantis Watch. It's going to be a 7-inch square picture disc.
Right.
If you didn't order it, sorry, just pre-order only.
Yeah.
So next time you'll be more aware and to keep an eye out on the cool random stuff we put out. But Paulina of Flater 72, he's done a lot of artwork for a lot of compilations for like Pro Rock and all of these bands we like Jay Prozac, and like he did this is one of my last releases, like the Spot McCracken album. Mm-hmm. And he did the artwork, for that album. He did the LLG1, which I did not once again ask to draw my face, but he drew my face. He did the artwork for LLG2, and then McCracken's, he did the artwork because he's in the for them because they love each other, and that's awesome. So like, He's done a lot of cool artwork. So I just trusted him, and I said, hey, the songs are Planet Unicorn and Robot Bastard. Clearly, robots and unicorns, have at it. Whatever you want. So, yeah, we're so excited because he's got an awesome catalog of so much rad artwork. And, yeah, I know it's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah,
so.
For sure. How did you end up collaborating with him? Like, how did you guys first get in contact?
With Paulina?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's in Brazil, and for me, certain bands that are current are my reminders of bands of the past that I love. Like, you know, the Mantis are my Italian Ramones. Well, Paulina's band, Flanders 72, is my Brazilian Green Day. Their songs are just so pop punk, early Lookout style, love it. And I made my first compilation, has 20 songs on it, and I love Flanders 72, so I reached out to them. I said, I really like the song 90s. Talks about going back to the 90s and listen to all the old 90s music we used to listen to. And I thought that'd be awesome. Can we please have it for the 8-track? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And I didn't know he was an artist at that time, but Pro Rock had just put out a compilation. It's blue and white, and there's a girl on the cover, and as a joke, she has tattoos, and as a joke, someone's like, oh, Athena, is that you? And I was like, yeah, how funny. So I was like, I reached out to Kenny at Pro Rock, and I said, you know, like, who did the artwork? And he's like, Paulino. I said, oh, he's already on the comp. I was like, yeah. So I asked him, and he did it. He was like, yeah, of course, I'll do it. So, yeah, he did the label artwork for LLG1, and he had already been contracted with McCracken's for LLG2 artwork. And like I said, a lot of bands currently in our genre, you know, like his style, it's not just like one certain style. He has so many, and all of them are like very visually stimulating.
Yeah.
So you can't go wrong, you know?
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I know you mentioned with Lookout era bands and pop punk and that was that your gateway into the genre?
I had the weirdest transitional gateway to this genre ever. Because it's funny, a lot of people that know me or just getting to know me, they know me as like, I've been called the Ramona virus, Ramona Lisa, whatever. Like all these, Athena's Ramones. Just, she only knows Ramones for. But I'm very open. I didn't know a lot of these bands, if any of them, besides Green Day.
Right.
Until about 5 years ago. And the first album I heard that was even Ramones related was The Queers' Rocket to Russia. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I didn't even like Ramones. I had only heard like Beat on the Brat, like Blitzkrieg Bop, like, you know, those are the only things I heard. Like, no one showed me other stuff of theirs. It's like if, like, I think I told you before, it's like if someone only showed you Should I Stay or Should I Go and Train in Vain by The Clash, it would not make you necessarily a fan, but if someone showed you Garageland or Clampdown, you'd be like, hell yeah, this rocks. You know, so that's kind of the mindset I had with Ramones, and I was like, you know, I'm not just gonna say I like this band because it's the punk rock thing to do.
Right.
But I heard Rocket to Russia from the Queers, so when I like to be a smartass, so when everyone asks me, what's your favorite Ramones band, I'd say Rocket to Russia by the Queers. And so I knew Green Day already. That was the first band I ever had, like, found on my own, punk rock that I identified with that changed my life. And with the first album, and then the Queers was my kind of second. And then Teenage Bottle Rocket.
Right. Oh,
yeah. Someone sent me Teenage Bottle Rocket Total album. And that was just like, for the longest time before I owned it, that was the holy grail. If I could just get Total on vinyl, then I'll be happy with whatever else I do or don't get to further my collection, because I think it's probably in my top 3. I don't want to say number 1 because it would take too much time to dissect if I could really call it number 1. But if you would have asked me the first 3 years I listened to the album, it was definitely number 1. And once I heard that, I started crawling into other stuff, and I kept getting bombarded by people like, oh, listen to Ramones. And so I decided I'll pick the album from the year I was born, and I'll listen to it. And if I like it, then I guess I'll like Ramones. And that's Pleasant Dreams. And I loved it. I loved it. And I was like, whoa, why didn't anyone show me this earlier? And then I listened to Leave Home next. Because I was like, I don't want to hear the first album because that's all I kind of heard snippets from.
Right, yeah.
I heard Leave Home, and I was like, and then I was like, oh yeah, Rocket to Russia, because the Queers.
Yeah.
And then I listened to that, and I was like, oh my God, I love Ramones. So, I mean, Green Day was officially at 10 years old, I kind of gateway, but I weeded through so much other punk rock before I found my true love. It's like dating, you know? I was in dipped my toes in a lot of genres. See, okay, that's almost it, or I see that one over there. Oh, that looks like what I'm looking for, and yeah, it's all right, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life with that, you know? So you just keep going, and if someone would have just said, like, oh, maybe you like Lookout Records bands.
Right.
I didn't understand what the hell a record label was. I thought everything was like Capitol Records and like, you know, all these like big, I didn't get it. I had no clue. I didn't ever pay attention to that. So once I found Teenage Bottle Rocket, it was like, blew the doors off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So like, so when you're so saying like you don't, you know, like I totally feel the same about labels. Like when I was younger, like I just thought it was like these guys in suits and all that, and then when you get into like the punk music and all that, it's like, oh no, no one's wearing suits and that, and you know, and the
if you would have asked like 25-year-old me, like, what label do you know that's not like Capitol Records or whatever it was at the time? I would have legit, the only one I could name was probably Fat Records.
Right.
You know, but at that time as well, we're talking 20 years ago, it wasn't what Fat Records is now even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like Fat didn't have as many bands then as they do now. And I think I do Epitaph eventually, you know, Rancid and Bad Religion and stuff, but that's because I grew up in California and it's in your face.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea that like labels and we didn't really have that many touring bands from like the East Coast and stuff. It just never, me and my friends would go to any punk rock show, any rock and roll show, any show with, I don't know, man, Chuck Berry notes. I don't care. Like anything rock and roll, we would go. And I never remember once like seeing any of the bands that I love now. And I'm not saying they didn't come there, they did, but like the Southern California culture was like, we bred so many genres and bands there, like naturally in our own environment. So that were huge, right? Social Distortion, like huge bands. So for any little unknown band that you never heard of to come through, it was like, yeah. I never heard of it and didn't care or pay attention, which is, I was just there to see whatever, you know, the headlining band was. And now it's the total opposite most of the time.
It's almost a lot better that way too. To see the openers and all that.
Well, Teenage Bottle Rocket, I remember opened for NoFX, I think in like 2014. And at this time, my brother, Adam, and I were going to every NoFX show within like 200 miles.
Right.
We would drive and go, like so many. And back then on Facebook and stuff, like I used to check in, like I'm at this venue watching this band, like based on the event. And one day in my timeline, it said like, it was like 8 years ago, and it was like Teenage Bottle Rocket and NoFX at the Observatory in Santa Ana. And I was like, I was there. I was like, I don't remember seeing CBR. Maybe that was the one time my brother like pre-gamed a little too hard in the parking lot, and like we had to wait. I'm like, oh, we're not going until the headliner comes on. Usually I'm there at the venue way early, like obnoxiously early.
Yeah.
But you know, my bro sometimes got a little too excited to go to a show and kind of sober up a little bit before you go in the venue.
I'm that guy too. I would like to get to shows early, but sometimes the last show I went to, I was like 3 hours early. Actually, the times changed, but
that's what happened to me when I saw TBR when they were just here a couple months ago, and I felt like a total weirdo. I felt like a super weirdo because I didn't know where I was going. I just moved here.
All right, yeah.
I have agoraphobia, so I don't leave my house. So like, even if someone's like, oh yeah, some of these cross streets is like 3 blocks away from my house. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so like it's really a lot of anxiety and stuff I have to overcome to leave the house and then to go somewhere in, you know, downtown areas for major cities. You know, the parking situation could be anything. Could be a parking lot you have to pay for that you don't. You might have to find street parking. You might, like, who knows? I hate that. But, yeah, I got there obnoxiously early to the TBR show. But thank goodness I was hanging out with Susie Moon the day before in the band, and they ran out of the venue. Actually, Ray said hi to me first from TBR, and I was like, whoa, this is rad. I'm like, please, I'm kind of embarrassed. Like, how do you know who I am? Like, because I'm the most obnoxious TBR fan there is. That's the only reason you know me. I'll admit it. I love that band. They're consistently the most consistent catalog in our genre, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. So with all that though, with the label, so what you know, you found that you know, Ramones Core Lookout. That was, you found your niche. So what made you decide to? What was the push to be like, I'm going to start Little Lost Girl Media? How'd that start?
So basically, I had got here in Portland. You can get, like, if you're a patient, whatever you need, somebody in the community is giving it away for free. Like, I furnished my whole entire house with pretty much brand new furniture because people here, it seems like every season they get new furniture. Like, so anyways, pretty much anything you need, you can go in the community and ask for it, no matter what it is. And I wanted a record player because I just moved here with like a backpack. And I had this apartment and I was like, well, I have my records and a backpack. So I need a record player. So this lady was like, oh, I have this antique cabinet. It's like from the 60s, 50s or 60s, I don't know. And maybe it has to be the 60s, but gorgeous condition. And it has a record stacker on it to where I'm in that case and I try to buy before I have my own label out to pay for other people's music to go out, I could buy my own collection. And I buy like D-Cracks. Everything they put out, I buy. If they have 3 variants, I buy all 3 of that album. Like, I have 3 of most of their albums. So with the record stacker, I could put 1 on side A and 1 on side B. And when side A is done playing, side B drops and it starts playing side B.
Oh, they're so cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to get a lot of shit for that in the vinyl forums. Like, the grooves are touching each other and like,
oh, right.
Dude, it's like, it was built for that. And they're my records. I don't sell my own personal records.
Yeah.
I'll be taking them to the grave with me. None of you are getting them. So I'm in this cabinet. Besides the record stacker, there's an 8-track player. Mm-hmm. And there was a Barbra Streisand 8-track. And I was like, well, at least I'll know if it works. And I put it in and it worked. So I thought, what is a rad band that would have an 8-track? And of course, Ramones. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, going on Discogs, we're looking for a Ramones 8-track. It's like $100 to $1,000. And I was like, that's above my pay grade, man. Like, I could pay $1,000 and put out some records. Like, shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, so my mentor kind of like, I've always been kind of friendly with Todd of Clearview because he does a lot of Lillingtons and TBR related stuff. And I buy everything that he puts out. So I'd ask him really annoying questions. And I said, hey, maybe we could do like the TBR Live in '06 because he has that album on 8-track. And he was like, well, that's a super rad idea, but, you know, nobody's making 8-tracks anymore and it's not cost effective. So, like, it's cool though. And I was like, yeah, but can I get Road to Ruin by the Mr. T Experience on 8-track, please? If I can't have Ramones, like, let me get Ramones cover albums. He's like, I guess, like, Athena, if you can figure it out, we'll talk about it. And I was like, okay. And I thought I would just find someone to make the 8-tracks and then pass it on to him and he would do it, maybe release it like as a bundle or something. And then I talked to Dr. Frank, Mr. Dr. Frank, as I call him. And I told him the idea, and he's like, "Oh, that's an awesome idea. You know, sounds rad." I was thinking a while ago about doing 8-tracks, but you know, there's so many projects and stuff we're doing, like, don't have time for that. And so I was like, "Yeah, but again, if I can figure it out, can I have permission? Because I don't ever want to bootleg anything.
Right.
I don't want to bootleg or do something without permission. Never. So I'm really adamant about that, getting legal permission from the people who own the rights to the music, because sometimes it's not the band, the label, or a person. So I went to everyone associated with that, the former label, the current label, the artist, everyone. And I said, well, I better have a prototype or something I could show people so they'll see what it is I'm making. So I went and asked all the bands that I loved if I could, you know, if they would submit a song. Didn't have to be new, just a song. Or maybe I had one in mind, and I was like, you know, can I use this song or this song, you know? And of course, the first one is Little Lost Girl by the Apers. And that's the song that, when I was trying to decide what to name the label, I was like, well, this is my first album that has to be the first song on the album of my first release. So Kevin has always been super rad, and Mr. Nicotine's always been super rad, and always told me, yeah, you know, like, whatever you want to do is cool with us. So named it Little Lost Girl. I put together the first compilation of 20 songs, and it sold out. Like, I didn't expect it to sell out. I thought 5 people would buy it, my closest friends.
Yeah.
And eventually us 5 people would, you know, have a really awesome, like, fat, rad stack of punk rock 8-tracks. And that's cool. That's, you know, but people actually embraced it, and there were some people that thought it was stupid or whatever, but a lot of people I admire told me they thought it was cool. So
that's all that matters, especially if you like it. Yeah. So what was that like to have? Sorry.
I'm just poor, and I didn't have a way to buy all of these albums. I don't have, right now, financially, I don't have the means to buy all the albums from all the bands that I want to support and buy physical media from. So I think that's important. And so I thought, well, if I can make it on 8-track, then I can play it, and then I don't have to buy it. So, you know.
That's cool. That's kind of like you started it pretty much like
selfishly.
Well, that
100% selfishly.
No, I was gonna say it like that.
No, I'm saying it.
Because like, I mean, that's how most punk bands do it. Like, hey, like when they start, like in the punk band sense, it's like, hey, we don't like what's going around. We don't like the music around us. Like, let's do our own thing and do it for us. So, and that translates to everything.
I said, I already had looked into, like, you know, vinyl kind of stuff, because I thought, oh, maybe I'll start making vinyl too. I never thought I would after I looked at the prices, and then found out what the wait times were and all of that. I was like, we'll just do the 8-tracks. It's, for me, cost effective, and it's something cool that I can do that doesn't take a ton of effort on my part. So we'll do our own thing.
Yeah, that's
well,
great.
Nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is doing it. Like, as silly as people might think it is, some people buy $300 DD Ramone Funko Pops, and it just sits there on the shelf and does nothing. So this is really cool artwork, and if you ever did play it, it sounds awesome, and it's like $13, $15 I sell them for. Some of them are very limited and specially done, and they're up to 18, but still, like, people pay money for sillier things, right? So
for sure, I do. Cigarettes and beer and all that stuff, and that disappears. So you know. Yeah,
well, I mean, I'm not hurting myself or anyone else, you know, and I'm just doing something that hasn't been done before. Nobody ever in punk rock history said, I'm gonna make an 8-track label of punk rock. That I know. I could be wrong. There's other, obviously, labels that put stuff on punk rock on 8-track, but the label wasn't dedicated to that, you know?
Yeah, right. No, I agree. I can't think of any, When I first came across you interviewing Mantis Watch, like, your label, I was like, no kidding, 8-tracks, wow. That's totally different. And it's...
I did get an inside scoop. Maybe I'll tell you here first.
Oh, okay.
It's not confirmed, but I am actually in talks right now with a guy who's engineering and has prototypes to make a set of maybe 12 Little Lost Girl Media branded, brand new, not refurbished or old shit made new, but brand new portable 8-track players with built-in speakers and Bluetooth. And they'll be small, you know, they'll be like a huge Discman or whatever, you know, but like portable.
Yeah.
And you will not have to worry about, is it going to work? Because a lot of times I get people that buy them from thrift stores or eBay or grandma's yard sale, and they just don't work. They need to be refurbished. And there are places, and if anyone's interested and has an 8-track player, thing is you do have to pay to ship it to the repair shop. But I do have a list of a very trusted guy who's in the 8-track community that is endorsed by many other 8-track people in that circle.
Okay.
That you can send in to get your stuff. So if anyone needs that info, they can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram or any of that stuff if you want that information. But I think that we came to the conclusion today that we're going to start with 12, and they're going to let me design what the, like, they've come up with everything, but like, you know, the skin or like whatever the design on the outside is.
Yeah.
It might just be the logo. I don't know yet, but we just got that information today. And they'll be affordable. I know they'll be under $100. I would like to say what I think they'll be a lot less than that, but I don't want someone to come back to me later and be like, ah. But yeah, because a lot of people tell me, like, Athena, I would love to have that if I had an 8-track player, you know. But this guy is as dedicated to bringing this format back, so as I am, you know. So he's going to give me the exclusive first, I guess, go at him making them for LLG, so for our customers. So I'm looking forward to see where that develops, and maybe by the end of the year, or who knows, but you know, it's in the works, and that's something I really want to do too, because there are people that have every release I've made and can't listen to it. And
Right.
so
this is you,
so
like,
I
here.
really,
Now you can.
they're amazing because they just want to support me.
Right.
They just think I'm doing something with my heart, you know,
Yes.
not to make money, you know. I'm
Yes.
not making money. Like, it's punk rock. None of us make money in punk rock.
No, that's the first thing I realized quickly when I first met you. Like, well, you know, joined in on from your Facebook group, and you know, got to speaking with you. That it's really inspiring, because I had, like, I know I'm just talking to people, but it helped me, like, kind of like get back on the saddle, I would say. So
If you have a passion for something, if there's one thing I want people to know, like, to inspire people, it's that, like, I had cancer 6 years ago, and I'm alive, and I want to say, you know, I'm doing all right. I'm not facing that anymore, right?
Right.
And I've been blessed this whole time since I overcame that. My income is under $100 a month. That's my income. If I can do this, if I can find a way, because I want it to happen so badly, and I don't just stop at the first roadblock or the second roadblock, you have the passion behind it. People will respect that passion. They want you to succeed. And I'm super thankful to every person, even if the only thing they've ever done is like the Instagram page.
Right.
Because it's been an incredible experience the last year and a half. And if I can do this and there's something you're passionate about, no matter what it is, you have to keep that drive going, because it will pay off. You'll figure it out. I'm encouraging now every record label right now to come up with some kind of collective to get our own pressing plant going.
Right.
We all know how vinyl is in a shortage, and it's not going to stop being in a shortage anytime soon. Come on, guys. It takes $250,000 max.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, like, none of us individually have anything near that, but through networking, if you want it bad enough, you will network and network and network and network and network until somebody thinks, yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And it will happen. You just can't give up on it, you know?
Totally.
So as silly as like making modern day 8-tracks sounds silly, if a girl with pretty much no income could do it, you know, who knows what the limits are for any of us. So keep your passion. Like Pepe Gulli says, are you passionate?
Yeah.
You have to stay passionate.
Great song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if, you know, Brett Gurewitz and Fat Mike, they could easily just do that properly. But maybe, I don't know.
Especially bands. Bands. If it's fun and you love what you're doing, keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Totally.
Because we know that. I think for bands it's harder. I'm glad like I'm not a manager of a band or anything, because that's like a whole family that you have to interact with constantly, like the same people over and over. And that could be super challenging, especially on tours and stuff.
Totally.
But if you're passionate about the music and you know that it's being well received and we all want more, just keep it up, please.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any of my bands that I love stop anytime soon.
Right. Yeah, because they just need to band together and stop all the Taylor Swift vinyl from taking over or whatever that whole story
Listen,
was.
If Johnny can get along with Joey well after the whole incident for that many years after and play together on a stage, so can all of you.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to hear any bullshit about. It's too hard to work with that guy. It's too hard to not hear the music for us fans. We're dying every day without it. Get it together.
Yeah. That's true. That's what Johnny and Joey did it for.
For us. For us. It's not about them at that point. It's about us. They respected us. And,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Or tell me, like, the other night, was it, B-Face, right? He's the one that did your logo?
Yeah.
Can you tell the story of that again, or? I don't
Yeah,
know,
totally.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you any story you want to hear.
All right, cool. So, how did that come?
So, I buy a lot of art by B-Face.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing a lot of prints. Like every month he would do a print. And I love supporting every medium of art that people I like do. So I was buying all his prints and stuff. And then I saw, trying to think of a logo. What could it be? And I'm not really creative in that sense. So I asked B-Face and I said, I'm going to make this silly 8-track label. And I need a logo. And I just saw Craig of Endless Detention's logo had just came out for his record label in Australia. And I thought, oh, that's super rad logo. Like, I just loved it. And I was like, well, I'll ask B-Face. He's probably going to say no, but I know he does art. So I asked him, and he said it might take a little bit, And I was like, I don't care. Like, my label can not have a logo until it's ready. I don't care if it's a year from now. I was like, you could literally draw a stick figure on a napkin. That's what it will be. You don't have to put a ton of effort into it, So I didn't know what it was going to be. All of a sudden, he sends me what it is, and it's my face. And I was like, is that me? Because where my TBR tattoo is, it said punk. And I was like, is that me? And he's like, yeah, I printed one of your selfies off the computer and I drew it. And I was like, damn. Okay, now everyone's going to think I'm super vain.
No.
So he's like, well, do you want me to change it? I was like, no, dude. No. I don't know how much more, I've carried a stigma on my back that I was never going to be cool. No one care about what the hell I was talking about. It's been most of my life experience with music. Then I got called a poser my whole high school life for liking commercial punk rock, like Rancid and NoFX. And I just wasn't the cool punk rock kid, and I didn't give a shit. But
yeah,
I was a poser. I'd only been called a poser. And here's B-Face, Groovy Ghoulies, the Queers, all these amazing bands, the Mopes. That's all you have to say, the Mopes.
Mopes, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So punk on my cheek. So that should have been my first, sign that, maybe you could drop that high school stigma bullshit.
Right.
It wasn't, but I was, too worried about what everybody would criticize it. Like, oh, you think you're punk rock? Like, that's just what I'm used to. So totally amazing. He totally surprised the hell out of me. He sent me the physical one that he drew, and he sent me some, high def photos of it to put on the 8 tracks and stuff. And I don't know if it's gonna focus on this one, but
It should.
it's right here. But yeah, so that's the logo, and I try to annoy B-Face as much as possible, and send him my 8 tracks because he did the logo, and I don't even think he wants my silly 8 tracks because he doesn't have an 8-track player. But just wait till one shows up at your door one day, B-Face.
Yeah.
That is gonna happen, and then you're gonna play the fucking 8 tracks. And but yeah, no. So then it was weird because I never met him, and like I said, I haven't been in the scene that long. So like I felt totally unworthy that he was gonna do this for me and not know me or anything like that. So I was super grateful. And then I thought, I'll never see B-Face. Like, I'll never meet him. Like, I travel, but I don't. A lot of time when I'm traveling, it's not like super pleasurable. I'm not going to a fancy hotel on the beach. Like, go to visit family or go do this or this or this, like a mission. And I'm never going to Boston. I don't know anyone in Boston. I'm never going to. And he does, like he is now touring with Kepi here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, especially COVID, I'm like, there's not going to be a Mopes reunion, so what's the point, But Kepi came up and did a private show here for me and my buddy Chris up in Washington, the Highwayman. And so we got Kepi up here to do a private backyard show, and it was amazing. And I have a little Kepi pin on my leather jacket, and I was like, "Oh, Kepi, will you like write your name or sign it right there?" He's like, "Well, do you want me to do that or like draw something on the sleeve?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, draw the whole jacket. I don't care." So he drew the chupacabra on the sleeve, and actually, my jacket is right here.
Yeah.
I took it out last night, but it was way too hot, so I didn't need it. It's getting a little bit faded now, so hopefully you can see it. Sorry, the stupid glare.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. But anyway, so there's a chupacabra. It says Kepi. And when he did that, he told me, yeah, B-Face has to do the other side. And I was like, yeah, right, dude. Like, I'm never going to meet B-Face. And then that was in June. Middle of July, August, and at the end of July, early August, I had a layover in Boston. So I was like, all right, I'm going to be there for a few hours at the airport. I'll ask B-Face if he'll come and meet me at the airport, and I'll bribe him with the 8 tracks. And I told him, I was like, Kepi said you had to do the other side, like, you got to listen to your friend. And so he said, yeah, let me see if I can work it out. And like, I said, I'll take you, I don't know, like, you want to go out for a sandwich? You want to go out for a beer, I don't know what you do, but like, I'll buy you lunch or whatever. And just trying to entice him because I really wanted him to sign my jacket. And so he came on the way there. When he was on his way there, I called him and I was like, oh my God, the Sharpie, that's like the silver Sharpie or whatever, it's not in my purse. Like, I don't know where it is. So like, can you stop at like a CVS or something and like get a silver Sharpie or a colored Sharpie that will go on my jacket? And he's like, well, what color did Kepi do? And I was like, oh, it's like a gold or something like that, like a bronze. He's like, well, I'm getting silver then because I'm not doing whatever Kepi did. And I was like, I have money. Like, I have cash on me, and I will pay you whatever the pens cost, whatever the parking, whatever. I'll compensate you. Like, you owe me nothing in life. You don't even know me. Like, you're going way the hell out of your way for me right now. So he came. He parked at the Boston Logan Airport, which I'm sure is not cheap, and hung out with me for like an hour or so. Like, it might have been longer. I don't know. We were just chit-chatting about music, of course. And I was like, oh, yeah, by the way, here's the jacket. So he signed it. And let's see if you can see that one better because it's silver. Oh, this side is, like, tatted up.
Oh
But
yeah.
he wrote the little skeleton with 6 fingers and the bee face. I also got some Cap Gun Heroes on here and Chick Stick It. It's becoming to where I don't even want to wear it anymore.
Yeah, right. Really. Be afraid to fade away.
But yeah, he signed the jacket, and I had brought him copies of the 8-track because, like I said, he did the logo for me.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to keep thanking him. And my dog might be creeping into the video right now.
Oh, cool.
And so then yeah, so I gave him the tapes, and he's like, "Oh, how much are they?" I'm like, "Why are you asking me how much they are? Like, you're not buying them. It's a present." And I tried to give him money for like parking and stuff, and he didn't take it. He was like super rad, just like way down to earth. Just, it was like, wow, our community is the best.
Right.
Our community is the best. I'm not even a fan that's like been supporting this band for 20, 30, 40 years like some people. Yet people are willing to do things like this for me. It just makes your passion and your gratefulness and all of that grow. And it just keeps fueling me further to do as many cool things as I can. So, yeah, I got to meet 2 of my heroes in like 30 days. That was so cool.
Yeah. Did you ever imagine that ever happening? Like the year you started it?
Never.
Right.
I was fully expected to be laughed off the face of the planet and be the only one with like a bootleg copy because I would be afraid that everyone else was going to keep it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When everything you've ever done, you've been told is not cool, except for by a very select few people around you that support you because they love you and they know who you are as a person. When you're used to everyone shitting on everything you do, it's like, it took me so long to even feel comfortable to say, like, I have a record label.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, because I felt like, oh, it's just 8 tracks at first. People are going to think it's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not going to take it seriously. But I've had so many cool people in our scene. Like I said, the Lookout crowd, everyone associated with Lookout that I've ever talked to has been so supportive, so amazing. When you have those people, like, telling you what you're doing is awesome, keep going, keep doing it, then you stop caring about what so-and-so from the other side of the planet said about you that doesn't know you, and they're putting you down because they think 8-tracks are dumb. Well, you know, I don't want to name drop and be that girl, but there's plenty of really awesome people. Like, okay, I'll drop one. I just saw Chick Stick It for the first time here in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
KJ treated me like I was the fucking superstar. He was like so nice to me. Came on the stage and came down to me and asked me what song I wanted them to play. They're playing tonight somewhere in like Minneapolis or Michigan or something. So I hope they're having a rad time. But
cool.
You know, afterwards, KJ pulled out his camera and was like, "Can we take a picture?" And I'm like, this is the first time in my fucking life that any band that I've ever seen wanted to take a picture of me with them. Usually it's the other way around, right?
Right.
And he's like, "I see everything you do. I'm not super active on Facebook, but like everything you do is rad." And I'm like, "Well, I'm just trying so hard to advance it and be a part of it." And he was like, "You are a part of it. And what you're doing is awesome." So I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't give a flying F what anyone else thinks. I don't mean to be cocky, but like it made me be able to drop the anxiety.
Right. No,
that
yeah.
I thought random people on the internet thought.
Mm-hmm.
When people like that tell you that, you like, you know what? I still don't care whether I sell 5 copies of a tape or 50. I don't care. I'm doing it because I think it's cool. And there are a couple other people that think it's cool. And wait till you start seeing people, instead of on Facebook and Instagram, putting their cool vinyl color record on the turntable, you start seeing people actually playing amazing sounding 8-tracks on 8-track players with rad art. Like,
yeah.
Don't be surprised if like, I don't care if it takes 2, 5 years, whatever. It's going to get more popular, just like tapes, just like CDs.
Yeah. I think
it's going to get better.
Mm-hmm. I think like, yeah, as a form of, like, cause I don't want to say vinyl is declining, but now, like, I don't know if the pandemic helped with that, but yeah.
I still would love to buy every vinyl record by every band because I enjoy collecting vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
But not only as a consumer from buying people's stuff, it's taking these bands, like, forever. It's not the band's fault.
No.
But it's taking them like 12, 18 months to get a record out. And I've just read articles this week that said another plant burned down.
Oh, yeah.
And then another article saying Taylor Swift is re-releasing everything of hers on vinyl, everything. And no hate on her.
Yeah.
If I was her, I'd do the same shit too.
Sure, yeah.
Quite honestly. But that's slowing things down. So either A, we all have to stop bitching about it. If I hear one more person bitching about it that's not trying to figure out a solution, I'm going to explode.
Right. Yeah. Like you said earlier.
I don't know. So let's figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I just see that is getting harder and harder and harder to go. It's not hard for me to manufacture a professional quality 8-track. This isn't like some cardboard box with a home printer, like sticker on it or anything. This is like, you don't know that this didn't come from factory. It's that professional looking. And, if I can make the players readily available and people actually hear the sound quality, which is the key, as cool as it could look, it has to sound good. Mm-hmm. I've got tapes before that were fine. I also got tapes before that sounded like not good, recorded quality. That's what people don't understand about our 8-tracks. It takes 3 hours to make one.
Yeah, walk me through that with the process of that.
So basically, we will get an old shell. For now, this is our system. We have about 17,000 8-tracks.
Yeah.
So we're not worried about running out of anytime soon.
Right.
I've been asked that question a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to take an old 8-track cartridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty beat up usually, but we make them completely look new, but we have to also open them. Okay, and then inside, I wish I had one of the clear ones. There's a big spindle in here with the tape. The tape could be cut for 30 minutes, 90 minutes. You have to look up that album that you're taking it from and see how long the recording time on that album was to know if you're able to use it, because they're all different lengths, right? So we sometimes have to cut tape, re-lacquer the tape, make a new spindle. We've had to make new spindles inside for tapes. And there's a little part inside that, like on a typical 8-track player, there's a button. And I think End of the Century by Boris the Sprinkler release was the first one that we actually took back the traditional 8-track form of 4 programs. So on most 8-track players, you'll see 4 lights and a button. And when you hit that button, it skips a whole program. A program could be 3 songs, 4 songs, depending on how long the song is. So you can't necessarily, but it's better than a tape player where you have to kind of guess, right? So we have to do a lot of things to refurbish them, and then we have to record them. And then my engineer has to listen to every single tape, because 1 out of every 12 might not sound good. We thought, it would turn out okay, and it doesn't. We have to listen to every single one. So here's the thing out to bands that might be thinking about getting 8-tracks. The shorter your albums are, the better it is for us. That's why I stick to Ramones core. A minute and 23, perfect. I'll put your whole album out.
Yeah, it's in the perfect.
Your songs are like some Stella Serpentine shit, like 3.5 minutes to 5 minutes each, and you got 15 songs. Like, no, sorry, I really don't want to do your 8-track. Mm-hmm. You can pay me. Money talks, but I'm more likely to give you a better price if A, it's something my engineer actually wants to listen to. I had someone inquire about 500 8-tracks. I was like, as much as I would love to have that money and be current on my bills, my engineer spends about 3 hours making one 8-track, because we also do the boxes. We also do take the template and apply it to the labels and all of that stuff. So for 3 hours of his time is what you're paying for. And if it's something he wants to hear over and over again because it's good, like the Spot McCracken album, yeah, we're going to charge you less.
Yeah, no enjoyment.
I had, for instance, this is the best ever. this is my big brag card so far, an 8-track making. I was contracted because I did a 7-inch diamond cut lathe record, which is different than a mono cut. The frequency is the same as a pressed record. Mm-hmm. And I paid a lot of extra money to have that quality because that's what I think people getting stuff from me deserve. So I had showed that off in a group for small record labels, and I had said, this isn't for sale because it was pre-sale only. They're sold out. But I never thought I would make any kind of a vinyl record. I never thought in a bajillion years of my loving music, all these years, that I would have anything to do with a vinyl record. So I'm just sharing it because this is a big moment for me to be proud of myself.
Yes.
And I got contacted from John of Stay Free Recordings, who has his own record label and puts out all kinds of artists. I mean, everything from Devo to reggae to, any kind of music, like EDM. Like he picks the best in every single category, and he'll put it out, and a lot of it is for charity. So he hit me up and he said, how much can you get those made for? And, because I make media for other people too, not just my label.
Right, yeah.
Which is why I'm media instead of records, because if I mostly make 8-track, it just sounded stupid to me to use records on there. But anyways, I talked to him and I said, yeah, I could do it for you. And he liked the price. And I said, you just have to own the rights to the music. I legit have to see something like credible to let me know that because I didn't know who he was at the time.
Right, no, smart.
Now looking back, I feel absolutely stupid because the next line out of his mouth was, all right, let me just email Fletcher and I'll get back to you. And I thought, oh, that's cool. I was like, you have a friend named Fletcher. There's a guy in Pennywise named Fletcher. And he goes, that's what I'm talking about. And he showed me like the email thing. And I was like, this what? Like I instantly got flush all over my body. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I grew up in Southern California. Pennywise is huge. Mm-hmm. Suicidal Tendencies is huge. Rancid is huge. Operation Ivy is huge. My whole life, that's like, in front of my face. My whole first 27 years of life is there. Mm-hmm. So I start freaking out. And then he gets back to me and he goes, okay, well, the project is Tim Armstrong and Matt Freeman of Rancid and Mike Muir of Suicidal Tendencies and Byron and Fletcher of Pennywise. And they wrote a punk rock song that's for... called The Crew is the name of the band. Them together is The Crew. And they recorded a song for charity where Tim Armstrong is the co-chair. It's called Muzak. And it's a really rad charity that I wish I knew about earlier because they basically give all their funds to programs and schools to give kids who don't have access to instruments that want to play music and teach them how to play the music. Yeah. And with cool people, like Tim Armstrong will go in the class with these kids and teach them, it's a really awesome charity, especially for a lot of kids that would never have access to even pick up a bass guitar.
Right.
It's not, so I was like, this is what you're asking me about? Yeah, dude, like whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Like, wow. We'll make it happen. So I did 50, Tim Armstrong did the artwork. I did 50 square vinyl picture disc with the art on it, with that song on it. And then the kids from the charity also singing that. And then we did the 8-track for it as well. And the vinyl sold out in 1 minute. And the 8-track sold out, I think, in 3 hours.
Wow.
And that's my biggest brag card right there because, I used to get called a poser for loving these bands. Here it is, X amount of decades later, and I just helped release something from my dream. Like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
And, the doors that opened just by being brave and putting out my own 7-inch record just to say, hey, I could do it if I wanted to. I could do 8 tracks better than anyone, but I could also do other things too. So don't doubt when I'm passionate and I want something to happen, I make it happen. And from that also came one of the greatest experiences of my life. You want me to talk?
Yeah.
Is it okay to talk about it?
Yeah, of course.
So, because I made that media for Stay Free Recordings and the Muzak charity, they asked me, well, John of Stay Free, I don't know if he wants me to even say that. Well, I'm sure he doesn't mind. He gave me a guest list spot for this backyard. The other co-chair of the organization is a Hollywood writer for a lot of comedies. And because it was COVID still, well, I guess it is COVID. I don't know. Anyway, don't quote me. Anyways, it was COVID heavy. So this year they were doing the event in his backyard. And I saw the flyer and who's going to be there. And he said, don't tell anyone until after you go. But it was Tim Armstrong, the Interrupters, and the singer from the Specials. They're going to play. And I just thought, well, this is the coolest shit ever. And I got guest list for it. Like, I weaseled my way in through an 8-track label to get here. Like, this is the greatest moment of my life. And I was there. And whenever I go to a concert, I think you're the same. I think we talked before. I'm in the front. I'm in the front of the, whatever it is, barricade stage, whatever. I'm in the front because I want to see them play the instruments and how they all work together. I want to see it up close. And so I'm up front. Tim Armstrong comes out. I believe he played Radio. I'm like trying to, because when you're recording, like, I don't want to hear myself like screaming and being a fangirl and ruining it for everybody, because I really do try to film as many shows as I go to share with people who couldn't go. I've always done that for years on my YouTube channel. There's so many videos. And so I filmed that, and then Tim goes, and I don't know, he gets a drink of water or whatever, and he walks back up to the mic. So I start recording again, and he starts talking, and he said, I don't remember how, I'm bad at math, X amount of years ago, we made this song.
Yep, there it is.
What? Oh,
the curse.
I'll try to hurry. He said, we wrote this song X amount of years ago, and out walked Jesse Michaels, and I was like, now you really can't scream. You can't like shake the camera because you're like, ah.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not a true reunion because it was only them two there, but like, to see the two singers of Operation Ivy sing an Operation Ivy song 7 feet in front of my face on a patio in someone's backyard was like,
yeah.
And I recorded it. I immediately put it on my Facebook, personal Facebook, and then immediately after that shared it. And I mean, it was still going on. That was only 2 songs in. But I was like, no, I have to get this up now before anyone else. Like, I didn't know if anyone else was recording it or not. Put it in the Lookout Records group, and by the time I got home, it was 80,000 views.
Yeah. That I'm thinking that's the video I saw, like, just, because I
There was 3 recordings. One is from the center of the stage.
Yeah.
That is the professional, I think, Muzak that was there. One, and there's one from the left part of the stage. I'm the one on the right where it's Tim and then Jesse.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm sure that video has everyone who likes Operation Ivy, I'm sure has.
Of course, yeah. I watched it multiple times because I couldn't believe it. It was nuts.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's amazing. Yeah, like you even said, like, you use your A-check label got you to right there, like, so, like. And
then after that, if that wasn't good enough, then I ran into Trey Cool, and I got to take a cool picture with him and talk to him, and I was very intimidated because I know he wasn't there for that, and you're not really supposed to have a charity event. I'm supposed to be there as a professional. Yeah, but not supposed to hassle people, but kind of under my breath after he asked me if I was a Raiders fan because I had face tattoos. I was like, oh, okay, we're going that route. I was like, all right. I was like, can we take a picture, please? Like, if not, I won't be mad or anything like that. I totally understand. And he's like, you look great. I look great. Of course we're taking a picture. I was like, that's the best compliment I'm ever going to get for the rest of my life. So,
especially from Trey Cool.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's a sweet, down-to-earth dude.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I think the second or third time I met him. Yeah. And he was super rad.
Well, I'm saying like, oh yeah, like I know him, but like I've watched like millions of Green Day interviews. But
he's silly, he's fun.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of friends and family that live in Orange County around where he lives, and they see him driving his car around backwards in the freaking cul-de-sac and shit. And yeah, like he's just a cool, fun guy.
Yeah, and that's the guy from, and that ties it all into. He was that's where he started. Lookout Records. It's like boom.
Because I just told someone that the other day.
Oh yeah.
I was like, you know that Larry Livermore knew Trey Cool because of the Lookouts, right? Like, they're like, what? I'm like, weren't you like there almost? Like, this is a person that's like, been into it way longer than I have.
That's how he got. That's how he got his name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Larry's the man.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's weird how it all connects and like everything's like just everything's very connected.
If I had to be associated with a group like mentor, family, whatever, if the Lookout is the one that accepted me, I'm not upset at all.
Oh no, yeah.
It's a dream. It's a dream. 10-year-old me that got my first Green Day album on my 10th birthday from Lookout Records never thought in a bajillion years that it would ever be anything like this. Right. Ever.
Yeah, it's incredible. And you deserve it. You're late, I must say label, but media. I mean, I'm gonna say it's a label too. You do put out bands. On,
I'm trying.
But
I try to put out new stuff. I try to put out old stuff that didn't get a proper release, or albums that I just purely love that I want there to be more copies of it out there in the world.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, with Mantis Watch, I have to have them because they're like the real deal of everything that I wish every song could be ever. And I want to put them out on everything. I'm going to do vinyl for their next full length, whatever that comes out. I'm going to do whatever they want. Awesome. As a label, as someone who owns a label, every band that I work with or have a contract with or make tapes for, whatever, everything is completely different with every single interaction. So there's not really a formula. It's really about what the bands want. I'm here as a vessel to get them out to as many people that will listen to me, because if you like the bands I like, Mr. T Experience, Ramones, Lookout stuff, and even stuff like on Fat Records, like if you like punk rock and roll, then LLG's for you. And I'm just gonna keep spitting out annoyingly as many cool bands as I think need attention. Good. Because I love them. Not because, and it's cool when bands do send me stuff, and that's super, I'm way more grateful, but that has nothing to do with when I say I love this band. It's because I'm in my living room listening to it over and over and over and over again, and I can't get enough.
Right.
It's the real deal.
Yeah, it's really inspiring, honestly. I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I got to meet you and all the other guys in the group, and it's just so cool because going outside or whatever, you don't see that. So going outside, as you said, you don't see people. It's very, very rare to see people close to you around or whatever that's like that. So it's really refreshing. And I'm
all about being everyone's biggest cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't have to like me, but if you like the kind of music I like, then it's worth a follow or a listen, because it could be every day, every month, whatever, multiple times I get someone in a country that's not necessarily the United States, like Ukraine, Spain, Germany, Australia, telling me, I never even knew this band existed. And maybe the band existed for 20 years. Maybe they just came out yesterday, but I'm trying to find it all.
Right. The rabbit hole.
So, yeah, I'm trying to keep up.
Yeah, it's a lot. I know we got a timer, but I'll ask, because Zoom is so awesome. But I'll ask. So what's? I know you have a lot of stuff probably you dip your feet into. So what's coming up that you could share?
So we just closed out the Mantis Watch 7-inch, which then that was on Sunday, and then Monday we opened up the pre-order. We're doing the Back to Lillington High tribute album, all Lillington songs by amazing bands like the Jasons and Covert Flops and Kelsey Bad Grammar and the Zonoids, all the up-and-coming and veteran and awesome bands that we know and love. Mm-hmm. And there's Jay Prozac, super veteran of the scene, and amazing, cool Lillington songs, man, and everyone loves the Lillingtons. So we were blessed enough that Buzzkill Records did all the work for us. We didn't even really know that he was doing it, and then he knows I have a Lillington tattoo on my face. So you have a label. Athena, you want to do 8-track? Of course I do. So that went up for sale. There's only 27 colored cartridges available. I think there's 13 gone already, and the rest will be in black. And then I know we're doing the Mr. T Experience Road to Ruin finally. That will be in the fall, cool. Coinciding with Sounds Rad, because they're going to put it out on vinyl in the fall. So that'll come out at the same time. And the Mercy Fox. There's a band nobody's ever heard of because they're new. And but we've got names in there, people you know, like Andy of the Sheckies, and Vinny of the Scutches, and Wimpy Rutherford of the Queers, and G-Bear, who's in Andy's other band, The Antidotes, and they made a really punk rock is getting an enema this summer. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be, if you like that old punk rock, like the Daily, Dollar Short, any kind of Shecky song, like you'll know what I'm talking about. So I think that's a release that people are not expecting to come out on my label, because it's really like real punk, like as if they're real punk. But I've heard all the songs, and I've been along for the whole ride since the concept of it. So I'm excited, and I know it's gonna. I have no doubt that people aren't gonna eat that up, because who wouldn't? And then hopefully more 8-tracks. And then the Deborah Jean project is probably the last one that I'm working on for this year. So every single band on there is going to sing the same song, Deborah Jean by the Queers. There'll be country, there'll be ones in different languages, hopefully a metal one. Grim Deeds is going to do. He asked me if he could do a weird version. I was like, that's why I asked you, because I don't want it unless it's a weird Grim Deeds version. A lot of cool bands are doing it. Yeah, so Joe Queer said that he would record an acoustic version, because I had to ask his permission, obviously. And I kind of have already asked the bands and stuff and had the idea before I asked him. Because another label was like, oh, well, what did Joe Queer say? And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about it. So I wrote him an email, and I said, well, maybe I could throw on the original or like another version if you have whatever. And he's like, well, I could probably not add anything new to it, but I could do an acoustic version. And I was like, I can't think of a Queers album that has an acoustic song on it.
Exactly what I was going to say. I don't think they're... Yeah.
So if that happens, I mean, I think it will happen. I'm pretty sure. Like, you know, I'm not bothering him right this second about it. He just got off the European tour. Right. I'm sure he's exhausted. Mm-hmm. Give him his space. But he knows I love him so much. So, yeah. And then eventually I'll be doing, you know, the Queers Rocket to Russia. Mm-hmm. I'll be hopefully doing all of the catalog of the Ramones cover albums, except for I still can't get a hold of Vindictives. I did hear a rumor that Joey said that he wanted his music on every form of media. So, you know, you need the 8-track, Joey.
Yeah, fill that checkbox.
Because there's only those two bands. Like Beatnik Termites said yes. Mm-hmm. All the other bands said yes. And then, of course, I had a Facebook jail sentence, so I asked a friend of mine when Ben Weasel was live on the Screeching Weasel page. I said, ask him how we get a hold of him to ask the permission for getting the Screeching Weasel Ramones album. And Ben was, you know, talking about his cigars. Yeah. I think about 45 minutes went by, and then he typed it again because he figured after 45 minutes he probably missed it. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess Ben went back and scrolled back through all the comments, and then he saw it twice, and he got kind of irritated, we'll say. How to irritate people and make enemies is about me. So he was like, we're not making a fucking 8-track. And I don't know if, like, he thought that my friend was asking him to, like, hey, could you put out an 8-track? It's like, no, there's a girl doing all the Ramones cover albums. She needs the permission to do the 8-track. I don't know if he understood that part of it. But he was like, we're not making a fucking 8-track. So a friend of mine clipped the audio of that I'm definitely going to use it for something in the future.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Something in the future. So that's going to be awesome. And I'll make 27 8-tracks of whatever that is, so he could sue me over the 27. And then for the rest of my life, whenever anyone asks, what's the 27 mean? I'll be like, it's the 27 8-tracks Ben Weasel sued me for.
Finally, the answer.
That's the answer. It's from the future. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
He couldn't tell you because we didn't have a relationship yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's all complete circle.
I wish that was true. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's mess around and find out.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I really don't want to make Ben Weasel mad at me ever.
Yeah.
I was never the biggest Ben Weasel fan. I like Screeching Weasel or the Screeching Weasels. If you know me, the Screeching Weasels. But there's a lot of songs I did like. Then there was albums I grew to like. Mm-hmm. But I don't typically like the Screeching Weasel songs that everybody else likes. So,
okay.
You know.
Like from like Bugatti, whatever.
No, I really don't even. There's songs on there, of course I like them, but that's not even an album I put in my top. Sure. I like Bark Like a Dog a lot.
Yeah.
When I was trying to determine what the first Screeching Weasel album I was gonna buy was, I asked a friend and I was like, I know some of these songs on this album. Is the rest of the album good? And he's like, yeah. His opinion was, yeah, it's a great album, and he liked it. So, and then I grew to like the more polished vocal Ben Weasel. I've never been into bands that like I can't understand the lyrics, or the singer's voice is like not easy for me to hear or understand. So there's a lot of songs where everything is like Billy Joe, right, from Green Day. There's songs where they enunciate every single word, and then there's ones where you're like, I have no idea. I've been listening to a song for 30 years or some shit, and I still don't know what he says.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I liked a lot more other things. Like I said, Riverdale's and the Mopes spawn off of Screeching Weasel, whatever that those are. I like those two projects more than I like Screeching Weasel. But I never want to get on Ben Weasel's bad side, and I do need his permission one day to do the 8-track. So
yeah, hopefully he's down. He's down for it.
You know what? I could pay him whatever. If he wants every dollar from every of all 27 8-tracks, he could have all of the dollars. I don't think he's really like that, though. I don't think he cares about the money, but it would literally take no effort on his part. Mm-hmm. Like, unless he specifically wanted to design the album cover or he wanted to be a part of it, then yeah, you have full range. Like with me, that's the thing. If I release something of yours, or like Mantis Watch, they're on my label now, we have a discussion. I'm not here to be your band manager. I'm not here to like tell you what you can make, what you can do, what you can't do. You just do you, because I have faith in you and I know what you can do, and I'm cool with all of it. Like when I get a tattoo, I like look extensively through a catalog of things that this guy's actually tattooed. And if on every page, I'm like, after 20 years or whatever of being tattooed, I now have a better eye to, for that kind of thing. But if I see everything you've done, I love, yeah, man, I'll just tell you the concept and you draw like V-Face, draw whatever you want, man. Yeah. I'm confident in your skill and you're the artist. I'm not the artist. I'm just here once the art is made to throw it out there to everybody because I love it so much. But like whatever you do as a band, I mean, unless Mantis Watch comes to me and we're covered in Stella Serpentine by the Lillingtons, then yeah, I'm gonna drop them. But I mean, other than that, Carl, don't listen to this. Don't watch this and get an idea, please. Because I can't. But love the Lillingtons forever.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for that coming on. Like all the stories and everything. It truly are inspiring. Thank you so much. Honestly, like I'm excited to see. Oh gosh. I don't know if you noticed the lights have been flickering this whole time. Did you notice that, or is it just okay?
I'm blind, so I can't See or tell.
I don't know if you saw me go like that a couple times, but anyway. But
I thought you just had a ghost.
yeah, maybe. There's a little girl in my house, I think. A little lost girl.
Oh, no.
Ghost girl. But yeah, like thank you so much for coming on and being down to talk. And I honestly, I was stoked to learn more about your label, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm excited for all the projects coming up, and yeah, I'm gonna post it all down below. I always do that for videos. I go look down below. I'm becoming a YouTuber.
I've never done it before. Can I do it just for one time?
Yeah.
Links down below.
There you go. It's better than I would have. I just go like, I kind of do like a wave. Anyway, yeah.
Off the camera, you're like over here.
Yeah, down here. But yeah, I'm gonna put that down below for everybody.
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Maybe here. There. I'm not that good at editing yet. But we'll get there. We get there, right? We start from somewhere, so.
You'll be able to find it. It's a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
See, like everything's a mystery.
Right.
You want it bad enough, you'll find it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like I never thought I would, like starting this. I never thought I have this thing right here. Like you know what I mean?
Fighting it
Yeah.
every time.
All right, but yeah, all right.
But thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
You have a rad thing going. I hope you keep doing it and doing it and doing it well. And I will support anything that you need me to support and be a part of. So thank you.
Absolutely, likewise. Absolutely. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, bye.
Bye.